All right, so now that you are done with your progress check and peer review, I'll be talking about two more things. Actually, three more lectures would be there. Like today, I'm gonna talk about conclusion paragraph for your term paper. Next, I'll be discussing formatting for the whole paper, and then I'll create another video for you to show you how you will save the file with the final paper and all the sources, how you would send it to me, where you would send it to me, how you will post, how you will use the safe assign without the cover page and without your sources, only the paragraphs. So, and then that's it. So today I'm going to talk about the conclusion paragraph. I will be using two samples to discuss during this lecture. One is this one. I'll be sending you this file. So this is the sample I'll discuss. This is a sample from one of my previous students and then the second sample that I'll discuss or I'll look at with you today to go over the structure of conclusion paragraph will be from the Blackboard, sample 3 from Blackboard. Now before we go and start our lecture, a few things about samples. Uh, Samples are only to show you structure. There might be problems with the language, there might be grammar, vocabulary issues within the paper. They're not models for language that you'll just copy the vocabulary or the style. Everybody has their own style of writing. As long as the structure is okay, you will be totally fine. So you don't need to look at the samples as models of language or vocabulary, or they are only to show you structure for the term paper, nothing else. So there might be, even the samples I'm looking at, there might be some grammatical errors, there might be things that are not totally correct in terms of vocabulary, spelling maybe, but overall, again, the message is samples are only to show you for formatting and structure, nothing else. They're not for vocabulary or ideas or grammar. That's not the purpose, because we're not giving you language there, we're teaching you how to write the paper. So it's your own style, every individual has their own style of writing. Okay, so, and the other thing that I want to mention about sample today, I found out that, well, some of you told me before that sample 1 from the term paper samples was not working, and I told you there was a technical issue with that file. Now I found out today while preparing this lecture that sample 2, I think also related to computer, I guess, or robots, is not opening anything. So we have only one sample there now for structure and formatting. It's a very good sample about reasons for establishing business in Qatar. That's the one I will open after this sample today. So let's go ahead and start our lecture. So this is about the final paragraph, the last paragraph, conclusion paragraph. It has its own grade on the rubric in terms of structuring or the organization of the paragraph. So the introduction has its own grade, each body paragraph has its own grade, and then conclusion its own grade. So your grade for the structure and organization band will come as an overall grade of all the paragraphs and the elements that you follow within those paragraphs properly or with mistakes. So conclusion paragraph, if you remember when we talked about introduction, I told you introduction has 3 parts or 3 elements. Similar to that, conclusion paragraph has 3 parts, 3 elements. Part 1, so here this is a summary. It's you restate your thesis but without the main ideas. You don't repeat main ideas. It's just a general overall thesis without main ideas. Short summary of, so this short summary is basically of all main ideas, and in your case of the 3 main ideas. And a final thought or comment, which could be suggestion, advice, recommendation, steps, like things to do, things not to do, prediction, like what could happen in the next 20 years, what next 10 years, whatever, so etc. This is the last part of the conclusion. It's similar to 202 basically. All of these things we have done in English 202, post foundation 1, all of these 3 parts were there in the conclusion as well. Now, so let's start the way I have been giving you number of sentences and all of that. So conclusion, as you can see, I don't need this underlining anymore. 3 parts or 3 elements. Part A must be only one sentence. Paraphrase, so it's a restatement. You rewrite your thesis statement of your thesis from introduction, from the introduction paragraph without without the 3 main ideas. Okay, so we will not write the main ideas here. Okay, so this is part A, must be only one sentence. Part B, summary of main ideas. If you remember how you wrote summary writing, and in that during those weeks I told you you will be re-applying this summary writing skill. If you remember what we did, we looked at the paragraph, each paragraph of the article, and I told you to take the main idea, like 2 to 3 keywords from the main idea, plus 2 to 3 words from the subpoints there, combine them and write 1 or 2 sentences for each paragraph. That's exactly what you are gonna do. 1 to 2 sentences. Take the main idea, effect 1, advantage 1, cause 1, not the topic sentence only. The keyword there. What is the effect? What is the advantage? What is the cause? The keyword only. And then take 2 or 3 words from your subpoints. You're just giving a summary about your main idea and subpoint. No examples required here. No new ideas here. So summary of main ideas, it's 1 to 2 sentences for each main idea, one by one. Similar to how you wrote your summary in the summary test in week 3 and in the midterm exam. Two to three keywords. I'm just reminding you what you did from the main idea, and 2 to 3 keywords from the subpoint. You don't have to mention both subpoints if you don't want to. It's okay to a overall view of the whole paragraph and combine. Don't just repeat your topic sentences one by one. If you repeat your topic sentences only, 2 problems there. That way the summary is really short and there is actually no summary. You just repeated the topic sentences. The other issue there would be that then the last part of the conclusion would have to be very strong and longer. So then it gives issues to your grade. You would be losing your chance to get an A for the conclusion paragraph itself. Okay, so this is the part B, and it could be 3 to maximum 6 sentences. I advise you to write like 3 to 5 sentences only here. Part C, sorry, last part. In this case, you can see that you wrote 1 sentence here, 3, let's say you write 6 sentences here. You already have 7 sentences. So 1 to 2 sentences here, 1 to 2. Part C is your endnote, ending note, final note. So it is suggestion or advice. This is something to remember, a lesson, a result, a prediction, etc. So this is 1 to 2 sentences. If your summary is 3 sentences only, you can even write 3 sentences here if you like to, but this is the overall. Now conclusion should not exceed, well, it's a lot, even 120 words. Conclusion cannot exceed, I would say 110. In extreme cases 120 words, that's all. 100 word is okay. 100 word conclusion is perfect to me, but sometimes you're over like 120. But if you are more than 120, then maybe your body paragraph has some issues, or maybe so there is something missing in your paper that you have to add a very, very long conclusion, and the conclusion itself would be repetitive. There will be no good information or anything good there. Okay, so this is the overall, and this is again the same thing explained. Let's go ahead and look at samples now. So sample 1, topic of the paper, advantages and disadvantages of hydrogen fuel cells as a fuel. So replacing all the other fuel things like with hydrogen fuel cells. So the thesis of this student, look at the thesis. Hydrogen fuel cells are advantageous as they, again, I'm not saying the grammar, language, everything is perfect here. There could be issues, but we are not correcting anything here. I mean, we are not looking at errors here. We're not looking at mistakes or problems here. We are only looking at the structure, what the student took, how he changed things when he wrote his conclusion. So the thesis is full. Hydrogen fuel cells are advantageous as they contribute to less pollution and are considered as an effective fuel source, although they are expensive. So you can see advantage 1, advantage 2, and advantage 3. Disadvantage, the third idea. So effective, less pollution, expensive, right? And then look at the thesis, the first sentence. In conclusion, so it's a very good idea to start your conclusion with some type of transitional expression, a phrase to like to conclude, to sum up, to summarize, in the end, finally, like it should show like it's a good paragraph. You cannot just say there are several. So and then there are, so that you can see student thesis, you already saw it. Have a look at your handout. I'm sending you the email. There are several advantages associated with the use of hydrogen fuel cells as fuel. So that's the overall main idea, advantages. It should be disadvantages. I think something I missed here. So advantages and disadvantages, both are there anyways. And then, so the first topic sentence, let's look at the topic sentence. To begin with, reducing contamination is one significant benefit of using hydrogen fuel cells as a fuel source. So reducing contamination, that's the main idea only, main idea 1. But here, look, the reduction in pollution is a major advantage as hydrogen fuel cells release innocuous emissions and minimizes global warming. So he took keywords about emission and about global warming, 2 keywords, and the main idea itself, how they reduce the pollution if they are to replace other alternatives as fuel. See, this is the first main idea. It's not only the topic sentence, it's explaining a little bit. So what he did, he wrote a very good 1-sentence summary for the whole main idea 1, but you can always match that it's not only the topic sentence that they reduce contamination. It doesn't even say reducing contamination. He paraphrased it further, and then he took these 2 words about the idea from his body paragraph about emissions and about how they reduce global warming. So that's number 2. Number 2, now main idea 2. Another significant advantage of the usage of hydrogen fuel cells as a fuel source is for the high efficiency they provide, particularly in energy production and accessibility to hydrogen. So it's about efficiency. Now again, you also remember I told you have to paraphrase from the thesis in your topic sentences as well. So you should note that too. So this is the idea about they are highly efficient. Like look at the thesis, look at the conclusion. On top of that, hydrogen fuel cells are highly efficient. That's the topic sentence on its own. But then due to the huge energy amounts they produce, 1 sub-point, and for hydrogen being easily accessed by all countries. See, 2 sub-points. The main idea and 2 sub-points. It's the overall paragraph in 1 sentence. Very well written, only in 1 sentence. This is the summary. It has the main idea, topic sentence, and then sub-points. No examples, no explanation, no details required here. It's a summary. It's just recalling what he discussed in his paper. The third is a disadvantage. Moreover, it is important to mention that the high price associated with using hydrogen. So hydrogen is expensive. Now, did he only write this in the, so however, because this is a disadvantage, these fuel cells are expensive because of the high expenses involved in hydrogen extraction and in fuel cell production. So see, two subpoints. The expenses are because of the hydrogen itself. Hydrogen extraction is expensive. You need more money. You need more investment there. And then fuel cell production itself would be very expensive. So see, all three main ideas are here, but they're not copy paste of topic sentences. They're not even only paraphrase of topic sentences. This is why I'm giving you the three topic sentences. And he took the sub points as well. So topic sentence plus sub point, he wrote a very good summary, very good summary, very good summary. Only in three sentences. That's the ideal thing to do, 3-sentence summary. That's all. And then he gave a final thought. Finally, hydrogen fuel cells. You can read these 2 sentences he just explained. Let me correct this part as well. Okay, so this was my first sample. Overall, he has 1, 4, I think he has 5 or 6 sentences here total. That's it. Excellent summary. You should always look at a summary like this. He just gave me the main idea plus subpoint, main idea plus subpoints, main idea plus subpoints. You can even go to your outline, take the main idea and subpoint and make 1 sentence. That's all. Very well written summary, very good final thought, or the last 2 sentences you can see, you can look at it on your own. So this was sample 1. Let's go to sample 2. Let's go to sample 2. Sample 2, as I said, would be from the blackboard. So let's go to one of my sections. Term paper, samples. And start of this lecture, I said sample 1 and sample 2 are not opening. So, or I don't remember which one, but I checked 2 of them are not opening anymore. There's a problem with the file on content collection. Oh, so this is the only one available there right now, which is okay. It's a very good sample. So let's look at so this is the topic, why people should establish a business in Qatar. Significantly rich economy. Main idea 1 is about rich economy. This is the thesis of the student. See it. Generally low tax figures so main idea 1 about economy, taxes, conditions, favorable operating conditions. So 3 main ideas are there. These are the reasons. First, of course, topic sentence is about economy, talking about per capita income. So let's go to the conclusion and see what this student did for the first sentence. And to conclude, you'd see again, there are several reasons as to why entrepreneurs would opt for setting up a business in Qatar as opposed to somewhere else. General overall main idea of the whole paper without the 3 main ideas, right? And then an extremely rich and powerful economy, significantly low taxes and favorable operating conditions are the main factors that encourage Qatar is aware that there are. So now he is explaining, he first wrote the main ideas and then he explained them furthermore. So he still gave the summary about these 3, but in 2 different sentences. So this is another way of doing it. You can give, but the best option, easier option for you is the sample that I showed to you today. But this is also available for you. So the summary, so you can read that after the thesis. There is all of this is the summary, like what the government is doing about all of this, about the economy, about their taxes, and about how the conditions are favorable here, operating conditions. So then, final thought, 2 sentences. So these are the 2 samples. You can look at them, follow them, and write your conclusion. Okay, where's my lecture? Right. So this is the end of this lecture. I am going to send you this file, so you have access to this conclusion. Personally, I like this conclusion more than the other sample, but both of them are okay to use as samples. This student also was struggling with the summary part initially, but then he came up with a very good summary in his second draft. You can try your best like this as well. Just take the main idea and then look at your two subpoints. Main idea, your two subpoints. Main idea, your two subpoints. Combine them in one sentence, one sentence, one sentence. That's perfect if you can. It's exactly how you wrote your summary before. Just think that your paper is now the article and you're going to write the summary for main idea 1, main idea 2, and main idea 3. Alright, so we are done here for today. With this lecture, I'm going to send you all of this, the link and this document as well. All the best.